What up, what up, what up? I'm trying something, so I'm gonna read a little bit of this Nazarene Bible from it's called the Holy Megillah, and and I think I, it's called the Holy Megillah, the Nazarene Bible of the Essene Way, and they've been breaking down in there that Essene means healer, so a lot of these practices and I don't know what you call it, ways of life that I'm reading about is really about having a clean, healthy life, and then what that means. So y'all gotta join me on this because I just read through this a little bit, and it's gonna take a little time to get to the good part, but this is a good one. It leads into a good one, and then I think after this is the one where comes Noah, the story of Noah. I'm gonna put that on wax too. So right now, let me get this ready, set up. I usually don't have me on camera, so this is the first. But I kind of want y'all to see my reaction too, because this stuff is like blowing me away. All right, so here we go. Chapter 19, Abraham and Sarah visit Earth, the killing of Abdiel and Isha by Cain. Now, um, Abdiel is Abel, and Isha is his wife. So in this story, Cain just not only killed Abel, killed his wife too. And Cain, in the story of Adam and Eve, I can't remember if I read that part on video yet, uh, but he was the son of Adam and Eve too, but he got raised by Lucifer because after Lucifer told Adam and Eve to sleep together, he actually told Eve, he told him how to rape Eve and take it so that this. Yeah, I think I did put that on wax because I'm remembering now. But so Cain, and then he took the seed out of, he took the baby out of Eve's womb after Cain and, I mean, after Adam and Eve had slept together. Then um, Lucifer took the seed out and put it in a glass jar. So Cain was basically the first test tube baby. Um, Maybe not the first, because the way this book is talking, like there's many worlds and many things going on. This ain't just the only place things are happening at. Maybe the first for this place. All right. Lo, the life of the Nazarene Kwabucha was blessed. The brethren and sisterin worked hard, but loved their work. For Abdiel declared that each should perform the work of their heart. Yea, for 5 days of each 7 they worked at their trades. Then came a day of play, and the 7th day was the Sabbath. The day of play was on the day called Yom Eretz, um, which for short was called Yom Eretz. This was a good day for playing with the children, for behold, many children were born in the early years of the Kwabucha, for many marriages were declared. And the way of Nazarene marriage and divorce was as follows. At age 18, Nazarene boys and girls were declared men and women. The men of the Kwabusha gathered with the new man for his manhood ceremony. At this ceremony, the men offered advice on life to the new man, and the women of the Kwabusha gathered with the new women for their womanhood ceremony. At this ceremony, the woman offered advice on life to the new woman, and after this ceremony, the new adult was eligible for marriage, but had likely received, much advice on the merits of waiting. Abdiel taught, and it had become Nazarene law that any adult was free to marry any other adult if both parties so desired. The couple must come before the high priest and declare their intentions to marry. At this time, the high priest gave his advice but would not prohibit a marriage. Also, at this time, the couple informed the high priest as to what kind of ceremony they would prefer. Behold, in the early days of the Babusha, two women met with the high priest and asked if they were free to marry. Lo, Abdiel had not previously considered this possibility. The names of the women were Hannah and Mahitaba. Abdiel asked for a time to contemplate their request. He asked them to return the next day. Abdiel spent the night in deep prayer and contemplation. He asked Elohim for guidance, and guidance was given. When Hannah and Mitaba returned, Abdiel spoke, saying, all shall be free to love and marry whomever they choose, provided their chosen partner agrees of its age and is of age. Not only shall your marriage be permitted, it shall be honored and respected without prejudice. Behold, this is the will of Elohim. Divorce among the Nazarene was called blessed parting and was without, so that Yom Eretz means Mother Earth Day. Stigma and often joyful. Abdiel taught that we sometimes come together in a marriage to learn certain lessons from one another, then part company so that we may learn other lessons from other partners. The lifespan is long, and one partner may grow at a different pace than the other, and goals and interests may part. Some will choose to stay with one partner for the entire lifespan, letting the working out of differences be the life lesson. But those who choose to experience the lesson of various partners over the lifespan are not to be thought less of or mocked. Indeed, many of the priests, Nazarene sages, and prophets experienced the blessing of multiple marriages and learned many lessons from their partners. Behold, the Nazarene law of blessed parting was as follows. Blessed parting was initiated when one or more of the partners wished to be parted from the marriage. The partners appeared before a Nazarene judge and declared their intention to enter blessed parting. Each partner then recited a list of blessings that they had received by being married to their partner. Lo, every marriage contained life lessons, and lessons are the greatest blessings. Yea, and after reciting the blessings, each partner pledged their ongoing friendship and their hope for great future blessings for their former partner. The Nazarene judge then helped the partners arrive at an equitable distribution of property, and if there were children involved, the best arrangement for the children all was accomplished in a loving, cooperative manner. For behold, the ritual of blessed parting was considered a positive step in a new direction, a doorway into a new and blessed future. Behold, many children were born in the early years of Babucha. Truly, all the children were loved and respected, and each was born with a special gift and a calling. Yet one child was gifted beyond all others, having mystical powers greater than even the wisest sages of the Babucha. Behold, this was the seventh child of Abdiel and Isha, and his name was Enoch. Yea, he was conceived when Abdiel and Isha embraced in the center of the tree of life, and this was a sign that he would become the gatekeeper of the door to the tree, which he became when his years on earth were accomplished. And the door is the center of the tree, and all who enter that door will first greet the gatekeeper. And this cherubim's name is Shanakel, which means initiate of Elohim. Behold, the first words from the mouth of baby Enoch was Jaja, and the first song from his holy lip was a celestial melody praising the Lord and Lady. When but a toddler, he chanted the communions in heavenly melodies and sang the psalms of the Lord and Lady. And when he touched the hand of a sick person, lo, the person was healed. And when he walked, flowers were seen to spring to life, and the leaves of trees became a brighter green when he passed beneath their branches. And his wisdom was profound like that of the greatest sage, though still a child. Lo, the other children of the Pabucha loved Enoch and came each day to play with him. He played a portion of his day with the children, but also spent much time with Abdiel and Isha. Yet Abdiel taught him the things of the Nazarene priesthood, and Isha taught him of the herbs and beauties of nature, and the other elders and eldresses of the Babusha taught him their trades. And each day Enoch went for a walk by himself in the orchard to pray and meditate. And there in the orchard the lamb and dove would appear and speak with him. And when they vanished, yea, many saw this and remarked, the lamb and the dove speak to Enoch, and he speaks with them. And when Enoch was but 14, he was initiated into the Nazarene priesthood. And when he was 21, he became high priest, succeeding his father, holy Abdiel. For at that time, Abdiel was slain by Cain. And that story is as follows. From the time of the founding of the first Nazarene Pabucha in Cush, Lucifer wreaked havoc in many regions of Cush. Yea, Lucifer had deceived many who now believed him to be Yahweh, their God, and he and his seraphim had mated their seed with the eggs of the daughters of mankind. Behold, Lucifer taught many to kill animals for food and pleasure, and to sacrifice them to him, their God. Lo, due to these practices, the people became denser and easier to influence. Yea, the entire region of Cush was polluted by the noxious vapors of death, and Lucifer trained Cain to be the first human priest of the temple of the serpent on this world. For Lucifer had fallen in his attempt to make Adam his first priest. And with the rebellion of Eve, Lucifer had banned the women of this world from his priesthood, saying their intuition is an apple from the wrong tree. And should they feed that apple to men, as even as Eve poisoned Adam, none of this world would obey my voice. Wherefore the woman of this world must be under the dominion of men. Now, I'm only going to stop here because this is actually why I did the video part with it. Just because so you guys wouldn't get confused. But right here is like, it's so different. I can't even get it to do it. So I'm not even going to mess it up. I don't want to mess it up. Okay. This is crazy because what we just read, and should they, so the women are banned from the priesthood of Lucifer's priesthood or whatever. Ooh, whoopie doo, who cares, right? But that's not what I wanted to say. Um, if they should feed the apple to men, even as Eve poisoned Adam, none of this world would obey my voice. Wherefore the woman of this world must be under the dominion of men. All right. When I was in Christianity, this was my biggest problem here, was that there was no word apple in Genesis. And I would say to everybody, this is how it would start, everybody that was a Christian, because I was a Christian, but I was like a deeper, I was deeper, I would study in the Hebrew, and I knew the Masoretic text, and I knew a little what I thought I knew. And so if I would see where this is what I would do, I would say, um, did you, to a Christian, I would just be like, I would ask them, is the word apple? Or I would say, what happened in the garden? And that's how I would say it. I would ask them, what happened in the garden? And they would say, oh, they ate the apple. And I would just dig into them right then, because I would say, well, the word apple ain't even in Genesis. And it wasn't that, it was a sexual sin, because from doing using the Strong's Concordance, breaking down Genesis, what happened in the garden when she said the serpent seduced me and I did eat and stuff. Then I was saying that it was sex. It wasn't no apple. But look at this. There's the apple. And not only that, I'm sorry I just went on a tangent. I'm going to get right back to it. because that really wasn't it. But this story here is showing us that, is telling us that, like Lucifer was upset when they bit the apple. And King James tells us that too, that um, when God found them in the garden, he said, um, found them in the garden. They were naked. They were hiding, and then he said, "Who told you were naked?" And then they went on the whole story. Most of y'all, anybody who's clicking on this channel knows the story, but it's the other way around. And then they got punished and all that, and got thrown out of the garden and everything like that. So the story was just not only, so we need to know that people, like anybody reading this, it's totally different. So the one we thought was God, that we were being told was God from the translation of the King James Version, was the Lucifer was talking. So now we have to kind of go back and read the King James with that understanding, that when it says Lord God, that's Lucifer. Because if you were like me, I had a problem there, because I saw how chapter 1 was like an Elohim, God said, "Let there be light," and it was this we thing, and then all of a sudden in chapter 2 it says, "And the Lord God," and I'm like, now who's the Lord God? Because it just went from one chapter calling him God to the Lord God. So yeah, that was Lucifer. So yeah, that's crazy. Okay, and then wherefore the woman of this world must be under the dominion of men. Yeah, that's in King James too. But it was a curse from God, right? So we need to realize that everybody who feel like women need to be, because of what they did in the garden and all that, that was all. Anyhow, I'm gonna just stop here because I know y'all want to hear what happened. So here we go. Before the Luciferians could not climb, oh, behold, the Luciferians could not climb the mountain of peace in the center of the garden, whereat was the Nazarene Pavusha, for they were too dense to ascend the path. Therefore they could not harm the Nazarenes in their homeland. But lo, holy Abdiel sent missionaries to the various regions of Cush, and often went on missions himself. For Abdiel knew that the truly highly are those who reach low to help those in need. Okay. This is one of these things that I'm seeing a repeat of, about to truly be high, you have to be reaching low. So that must be one of those, like I was saying, the laws of the land. I'm looking at natural law, like really what works here, and really how do things happen. We know we've been breaking down how they're doing things to us, but there's a law outside of that that's more powerful. Now Abraham and Sarah from their abode in the temple of light. This is where it's gonna get good at y'all. Sorry, I've been 20 minutes off. Now Abraham and Sarah from their abode in the temple of light, which is in the hidden chamber within the sun, watched over this world. Yea, the angels reported to them the events occurring on earth. And Abraham said to Sarah, "Let us clothe ourselves in the skin of humans and visit the earth. We will take our son Isaac, and the three of us will pose as poor, hungry, homeless humans. Behold, we will see how we are treated by the children of this world." In the guise of humans, Abraham and Sarah and young Isaac visited the regions of Cush and also other regions of earth, for humankind had spread to other lands. They saw that great evil had spread throughout the world due to the work of Lucifer. Behold, in Cush they visited many encampments to beg for food and shelter, but they were turned away. Then one day, as they camped in a forest, Lucifer approached Abraham. saying, Behold, I am Yahweh, the Lord God. Prove your faith in me by sacrificing your young son, or by killing what is dear to you and offering the blood to me. You will prove your faith, and I will bless you, and your fortune will increase. For I can see that you are poor and hungry. Behold, Lucifer said these things because he knew not the true identity of Abraham. But Abraham knew that this was Lucifer masquerading as Yahweh. And Abraham spoke, saying, Get thee behind me, servant of Satan. No true God would desire blood sacrifice of beast or man. Any God who desires this or uses it as a test of faith is no God but a demon. Lucifer was enraged by the words of Abraham. Behold, he took his staff and prepared to strike Abraham. But just before the fire from the serpent's staff struck Abraham, he unveiled his true form, and the fire did no harm. The fire did him no harm. Lucifer, realizing the true identity of Abraham, cursed and fled. Then Sarah and Isaac, who had been gathering fruit, came to Abraham, and he told them what had happened. Lucifer went to Cain and told him, Behold, I am the Lord God, and you are the work of my hands. For 28 years since your birth, I have prepared you for this day. For the time has come for your consecration of the first high priest of my temple on this world. Well, only one thing is needful. You must sacrifice a Nazarene. Lo, you have killed many Nazarenes by attack and ambush, but have not yet performed human sacrifice. So human sacrifice, Lucifer. Yea, you have sacrificed many animals, but a high priest must be anointed with the blood of mankind. It sounds like some vampire shit. And the Nazarene must feel my wrath, for they refuse to worship me. Behold, the killing of animals has made this world denser. Yea, now I can walk everywhere but the mountain in the center of Cush. With the sacrifices of humans, my terror will make this world so dense that the Nazarenes will be unable to walk in this world, lest they give up their ethereal abode. And surely they will refuse dense bodies and leave this world. Yea, they will abandon this world to my hands. Okay, so this was why the human sacrificing started. It was because when they were just doing the animal sacrifice, and it even explains it back in Adam and Eve that he told them that like your bodies are so ethereal light that when he was telling Adam and Eve, and they were listening to him like they were listening to him, and he was telling them you have to kill an animal and eat the meat, and then your bodies will get dense. And so since all the killing had been going on, it was making this world more and more dense. And so, but Lucifer was upset because he couldn't go still on the mountain in the center of Cush. He couldn't go there. He couldn't go there. So, with the sacrifice of humans, okay, it will make it so dense, and then it'll get the Nazarenes up off the earth. Okay, so that's why I started killing people, human sacrificing. Because we see it all with the Mayans and all of that stuff, right? Okay. Yea, they will abandon this world to my hands. For behold, why would they stay? Lo, the day after Abraham confronted Lucifer, Abdiel and Isha came upon the camp of Abraham and Sarah and Isaac. For Abdiel and Isha were on a mission of mercy in Cush. Abdiel and Isha, not knowing the true identity of Abraham and Sarah, saw that Abraham's family was homeless and offered them help. Abdiel preached of the Lord and Lady and the Nazarene way, and Isha gave them food and put healing herbs on their sore feet. Then Abdiel told them of the Nazarene Quabusha and the laws and ways of them that reside there. And Isha said, in 3 days we shall return to the Quabusha. If you meet us in 3 days at the place where the path ascends the holy mount, you may visit the Quabusha. Until then, we will visit another region and preach the way of the Lord and Lady. Abraham and Sarah, posing as humans, replied, 3 days is good. We will meet you at the foot of the mount. Then Abraham, Sarah, and Isaac headed east to meet more humans and see how they would be treated, and Abdiel and Isha headed west to preach. As she roamed Cush with Abdiel, Isha healed many. Yea, she healed men and beasts, even bugs and trees, even the grass and moss and plants were with her love. For Isha loved all the things of nature, even the stones and soil and water. Lo, she moved amongst the plants and the forest. She often danced and sang. Yea, and because of her affinity for green things, she wore a green robe, and her hair and her red hair was adorned with green ivy. Wherefore the people called her the dancing green woman. Behold, Isha felt motherly towards young and old of every species, and many began to call her Ima, which is Nazarene for Mama. Oh, pretty Ima. And all the living things loved her, except the Luciferians who hated her. Abdiel saved but many by his preaching, yet many received the word of the Lord and the Lady and repented. With his beloved Isha at his side, Abdiel had made many missions to the regions of Cush in the years since the establishment of the Babusha. But this mission was his last, yea, and it was the last for Isha, for behold, they were slain by Cain. Lucifer had sent Cain in search of a Nazarene to sacrifice, and lo, he gave to Cain a special weapon, a staff of fire. Behold, Lucifer showed Cain how to make the staff spit fire, yea, and how to control the amount of fire it spit. For this staff could spit just a little fire and sting, or it could spit a bit more fire and knock the victim unconscious, or it could spit even more fire and kill. Cain practicing upon birds and other animals, torturing them before sacrificing them to Yahweh. Never before had Cain felt such power. Never before had he felt such excitement. Never before had he had so much fun. Cain came upon Abdiel and Isha by a spring of water. Isha was healing an injured bird. Yea, it was a bird that had been tortured by Cain and escaped. There were 6 soldiers of Lucifer with Cain. 3 grabbed Abdiel and 3 grabbed Isha. Abdiel said, what do you want? Cain replied, Yahweh, the Lord God, who's made this world, desires a human sacrifice. Yea, and he deserves the victim to be a Nazarene. And he desires the victim to be a Nazarene. For nothing good comes out of the Nazarene kombucha. The Lord hates you because you sacrifice only fruits and grains. Lo, the Lord is not pleased with your sacrifices. Yahweh is pleased with my sacrifices, for I give him blood. Okay, I have to stop here because this just twisted the Cain and Abel story. Because remember now, he said you only sacrifice fruit and grains. So in Genesis of the King James Version, I gotta grab it real quick, y'all. See if I can find it real fast. I don't want to make this video too long. It said that God had favor on Abel's, because Abel was a keeper of sheep, remember? And Cain was the tiller of the ground, something like that. And then when they brought their offering, it said God didn't have favor on Cain's offering. Let's see. Yeah. So this is Genesis of the King James Version, chapter 4, verse 4, starting at 3, verse 3. And in the process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord, and Abel he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering, but unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. All right, so this just said that Abel's the one that brings the, okay, process of time. Cain brought the fruit of the ground, and Abel brought the firstling sheep and the fat thereof of his flock. So this just flipped it around. That's what I wanted to point out there. And in the Bible, so that's very confusing because it said that God in that verse, wow, it, I don't know which, I don't even know what to say. I'm gonna just leave it there for y'all. Okay, that was, I was just reading, okay, out of the different book. All right. So the Lord is not pleased with your sacrifices. Yahweh is pleased with my sacrifices, for I give him blood. Okay, this is Cain talking to Abel. Isha said, if you do this thing, you will harm yourself, for you do not, for what you do to others will be done to you, not by us, but by others like yourself. For behold, evil destroys itself. Cain shouted, it is a shameful thing for a woman to speak to a man as though equal. Ooh-wee. Yea, for the Lord God has revealed that he created man to rule over woman. For first he made man, then he took a rib of man and made woman to be the servant of man. Therefore be silent. I gotta pause right quick, y'all, just for a minute. I'm just like, I don't want to say too much and mess up the reading. Abdiel said, the one who calls himself Yahweh is your Lord is not truly Yahweh. He did not create this world, and he is not God. The true Yahweh is God, and God is immanent and transcendent. The true Yahweh is loving and kind, and does not desire blood sacrifices of man or beast. Cain pointed his staff at Abdiel and stung him with fire. Behold, had Abdiel confined himself to the holy mount, his body would be too ethereal to feel the sting. But lo, in order to preach in the regions of Cush and even beyond Cush, he let his body become a bit more dense to breathe and walk in that atmosphere. He and the other Nazarenes were still more ethereal than the Luciferians, but now could feel the fire. At this time, the Nazarenes could walk in both the rarefied atmosphere and the At this time, the Nazarenes could walk in both the rarefied atmosphere of the Holy Mount in the center of the garden and in the denser atmosphere of other regions. But the plan of Lucifer was to make this world more and more dense until the Nazarenes could no longer walk in both atmospheres. For then Lucifer believed the Nazarenes would surely abandon this world and leave it to him. Isha, seeing Abdiel stung by fire, moved to heal his wound, but Cain stung her with fire, and she fell to the ground. Abdiel, using Zayin, broke free from the three men who held him and moved to help Isha. Then lo, Cain killed Abdiel with fire from his staff. But Cain killed only the body of holy Abdiel. The soul of Abdiel went to the lamb and dove, yea, they gave Abdiel the body of a cherub, and the name Gabriel, which means man of Elohim. And since that day he has served as the messenger angel of the center branch of the tree of life for this world, and he will serve in that capacity. Okay, I'm going to read this little side note because I haven't been reading them. Quite likely, this is the origin of the similar verse in the mainstream New Testament. Can any good thing come out of Nazareth? Thus, we see that the mainstream Bible story that asserts Eve was made from one of Adam's ribs is nothing but a lie told by Lucifer to justify the servitude of woman. One of the chief doctrines of Gnostic Christianity was that the God of the Old Testament mainstream Torah who created this world was Satan, on a high-ranking demon or a high-ranking demon such as Lucifer. The Gnostics were only half right. The God of the mainstream Old Testament is indeed demonic, or to be precise, is a composite of original Luciferian elements that later positive elements. Okay, was a composite of the original Luciferian elements and later positive elements. But that phony Yahweh lied when he told the early humans that he was the creator God of this world. Okay, okay. So that's a big doozy right there. Because even me telling people to go back and read so you can know who Lucifer was, they're saying that the Gnostics, which is what that Apocrypha of John is supposed to be, one of the Gnostics books. It's a Gnostic book, they say. Only half right. But the God, because they're saying that the God of the creator of this world was Lucifer. Okay. But in this one, it says the creator in the very beginning was Yah, and he wanted to have children. And so he thought and contemplated on how to do that. And this is his divine plan. And he knew that given the soul's free will would be a great danger, said, because some will choose um, to go the other way and they'll spiral down. But yeah, so all right, well, we're just gonna keep going. This is talking about and he slain Abdiel is Gabriel, and he will serve in that capacity until the end of this world. Behold, after Cain killed his brother Abdiel, for remember Lucifer had taken Cain as an embryo from the womb of Eve and raised him. They subdued Isha with the staff of fire and then took her to the altar of the false Yahweh within a dark cave. There they sacrificed her unto Lucifer. So she was the first sacrifice, okay? Cain's wife. And they sacrificed her unto Lucifer, whom they believed was Yahweh, the Lord God. And that's another thing that this book is really focusing on, is really putting a lot of emphasis on the fact that Lucifer was running around pretending to be Yahweh, and that's why everybody was listening to him. But everybody, okay. Below, Cain killed only the body of holy Isha. The soul of Isha went to the lamb and dove, and there they gave her the body of a cheruba, and the name of it, and the name Isha El, which means woman of Elohim. And since that day she has served as the messenger angel of the center root of the tree of life for this world. Wherefore she is also called Shekinah. Ooh, that's the Shekinah glory. for she represents the divine presence in the garb of this physical world, and she will serve in that capacity until the end of this world. And as the center root and center branch are mated for eternity, so are Gabriel and Ishael, eternal consorts. Yea, they are co-workers, lovers, and have times of sweet communion. Well, that's beautiful. For nothing good comes out of Nazareth. Babusha. The Lord hates you because you sacrifice only fruits and grains. What happened? Just like a repeat? This looks like extra page. Double copy. Yeah. All right, that was it for that one. Chapter 19. The raising of the center of Cush is 20. Center of Cush to become the center of El Cush. Yeah, I was expecting that because they just sacrificed the first human sacrifice was Abel's wife. Wow. All right, I'm gonna end this here. It's a long one, 40 something minutes. So then I want to keep reading, but I gotta pre-read it first because it makes it better. I can read it through faster. Guys, thanks for watching, and share these videos if you understand if I'm not messing them up. Thanks, guys. Stay tuned.